Hello, and welcome back. This is episode 61, The Book. And you might be wondering what I'm talking about with the book, right? There's lots and lots of wedding planning books out there, resources, guides, telling you how to save money and how to get your timeline together and all the things. But there isn't a book about the emotional experience that a bride goes through that also has tips and tricks and solutions for how to handle all of that emotional upheaval that if you are listening to this podcast, you understand. And that is why I wrote us a book. And it's finally done. It's taken kind of forever, but she's here and I am so pumped. It's called Whispers to a Bride because, how to handle the stress and drama with grace and ease, because that really is my mission, right? We're not trying to eliminate the drama because that would be quite a futile effort, but we are trying to figure out how to navigate it and manage it and mitigate it and minimize it and learn from it and transmute it, right? With more grace and more ease. And that, my friends, is possible. But it also takes a lot of mindfulness. It takes a lot of intention, and it takes some learning, and it takes some sort of self-analysis. And mostly what it takes is an openness and a wanting to take full responsibility for your experience and understanding that so much of what goes on in your whole bridal experience, on your wedding day itself, and beyond comes down to you and your inner world. How you are processing what's going on around you, the people around you, the dynamics of their relationships, the pressures of having all the eyeballs on you or the mounting bills that you didn't count on. All of that stuff's going to happen, and what's going to make the difference, what's going to have you feeling a little more elegant, a little more at ease, is how you manage yourself, how you manage your own mind, your emotions, your reactions to things. And so I wrote this book. So this book is like a great companion to the podcast. It's also great, like some people aren't podcasters and they would much rather just read it. This is for them. I also wrote it because I think it is such a great gift, right? So many occasions come up when you are a bride, and there's so many great gifts out there, but this is the kind of gift that like people don't even know they need until they read it. And they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. This is what I've been feeling, thinking, wondering about, worrying about, and now someone has put a name to it and given solutions on how to help it. So I really, really like one of my dreams. I have two sort of like visions for this book. And one is just this idea of like it showing up at wedding showers and showing up, kind of in the mail. When you hear about someone's engagement news, you just pop on Amazon and like ship them this book, just kind of like a little sweet gesture, surprise. You don't even need to say anything, right? It's like an unspoken little like kind of whisper or code that goes out from woman to woman, just like sharing that sense of like solidarity and understanding and most importantly, helping, right? I hate the thing of like, well, I went through a hard time, everybody else has to go through it. No, when you have figured something out, when you have gone through a hard journey, the best thing you can do to make that worthwhile is to pass along helpful advice to lighten the load for the people that come next. That to me is what it's all about. And I just feel like women, we are so good at helping each other, but I love to like make it even easier for us, right? So it's like, if you don't even know what to say, send a copy of this book, bring this book to a bridal shower. And then I have this other crazy aspirational dream for this book that I don't even know why I'm saying it because I have no idea. But sometimes you just put things out to the universe, right? I like picture it in like the beholden section of anthropology. I don't know why. It's very specific, but I'm just like, can't you just see it sort of like on one of those little tables near the accessories. And again, it's just like, it feels like such a quiet little reminder that like, along with buying the dress and shopping for all the things and getting the right hair accessory, don't forget to take a moment to beautify your mind, get clarity, get peace, get calm. That's the part that, like, if you forget that, all of the other stuff is you're not gonna be able to enjoy it. So this book is also great if you are like a super devoted podcast listener, but you want to just have like all of my thoughts on this topic sort of succinctly summarized and laid out there so that you can like flip to it, get a resource quickly. I think you're going to also really like this book. Most of the work, ironically, was making it brief, right? I really didn't want to just throw the kitchen sink at you. I wanted to just distill it down to like what I think is the most essential aspects that I want brides to like sift through, and the most useful advice. So again, on the podcast, because we're here weekly, we can just sort of go all over the place and take little tangents and turns and like try out ideas and stuff. The book is really like the basics, the basis, like the essential ingredients of like all of the work that I do. So that is really what took so long, was like getting it really tight and light and just quick and easy. And so I just want to quickly sort of tell you how it's structured, and just to give you a little glimpse. But I would love for you guys to buy it and check it out yourself and give me feedback. Because I can already imagine like another book coming out. But for now, I just want to give you like a little overview of what sort of you can expect in the pages of Whispers to a Bride. That I do have to say, like, thank you to all of you who have listened to this podcast, sent me DMs, reviewed the podcast, and most importantly, all of you brides who have booked calls with me, because you have really not only informed this book and highlighted like what parts I needed to really focus on, but you gave it such like texture and such focus. Just my work with the clients is really, obviously it started with my own journey. Like that was so important, and so much of it comes from that. But what really sort of like seals the deal is like all of the other voices that are like inside these pages, that just really, I don't know how to say it, like really completes the whole thing. There was my experience, my hunches, what I thought, what I brought to the experience, what I learned, my coaching, what I've learned from my mentors. But it was like working with clients that really gave me like the final feeling of confidence to go ahead and write it. Because writing a book, it's a bit of a leap. You have to kind of decide that like you can really own your ideas enough to put them on paper, put your name on it, and put it out there. And so it's been a really funny journey to get here, because ironically it was very bridal. It was like so excited when I decided to do it, kind of like the proposal. It's like once I said yes to doing the book, it was like woohoo. And then it got so much harder than I expected. And then I had to call in help, right? I reached out to one of my high school friends who's just a brilliant person, and I just knew she's just a great writer. So I would write, and then I would send a copy to her, and then she'd be like, wow, like, I don't know what you're talking about here. This part doesn't sound like you. Why don't you go deeper here? And so that kind of feedback was just essential. I didn't picture having that kind of feedback in the process. I thought I could just go off and do it myself, but wow, I couldn't. Just like so many brides will end up pulling in help that they don't expect to. But that is where a lot of the magic comes from, and a lot of the good ideas really come from like throwing something out there and having someone else reflect it back to you. Cannot say enough how great it is to very selectively call in help. And then finally it got to like a good place where I had gotten all of the words and I got everything down, and then all I had to do was like publish, and then like it just felt like it should be easy, and then it got hard again. But finally we're here, just like it will be for you on your wedding day. Like it will go up and it will go down and people will help you and people will let you down and weird, glitchy logistical things will happen that you're like, I'm too smart to be dealing with this. Like, I think I should be able to fix this easier, but that's how life is and technology and just weird logistical problems pop up. But we got over it and we're here and I'm just so excited. So like I said, let me just go over a little bit of the structure and like give you a little glimpse into the table of contents and just so you can have a sense of what the structure is about. So the first section is called To Be a Bride. And this is where I really go into just all the different aspects that people don't often think about. So it's broken up into the wedding itself, beauty, time, the patriarchy, and expectations. How fun is that? Like those are the big buckets that I feel like I wanted to kind of look at the bridal experience through. Then, and this is like the heart of the matter, the subtle shift, right? The subtle shift that happens within you and your own identity, the shift with your parents, your siblings, your friends, and last but not least, your fiance. That is where we really look at like all these relationship dynamics and the challenges, sort of go into like why and give a little context and just shed a little light on why this time is really so exciting and wonderful, but also can be really tumultuous and stressful for so many. And then finally, the most important part probably is the third part. And it's called the invitation. And it's really all about a lot of the stuff that we talk about here on this podcast, inviting you to your highest self, to your solutions, to becoming the woman that you want to be in this next phase. And we are going to do that by figuring out emotional elegance, the art of deciding, and peace and presence. And so those are like sort of the three categories where I'm going to give you lots of tips and tricks on how to manage your mind, how to have hard conversations, how to figure out what you want and then make a decision and follow through. And there's stuff about regret proofing in there. Oh my God. And it's just, I'm so excited. Like it's so vulnerable, but I'm also like so proud of it. And mostly I don't care about it. I care about it that it exists, but I care more about like where she goes. And I just would love to see her just start traveling. So again, thank you so much for being here this last year with this podcast and with me and for being my clients and being my cheerleaders. And most importantly, just help me get this little baby into the hands as many brides that can benefit from it, right? As many brides as we can find. I think everyone can find something useful in here. Everyone. And if they can't, well, congratulations. You have already won at the game of life. So thank you again. So excited. Yay, yay, yay. Whispers to a Bride, the book. She's out. She's on Amazon. And I cannot wait to hear. Obviously, if you review it on Amazon, that is so awesome. I hate asking for reviews. It's so annoying, but I guess it's just part of the game and the algorithm and all that stuff. But it is really sweet if you did that. And yes, let me know if you buy a copy. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you give a copy to a friend, whatever. I'm just here for all the feedback. Thank you so much. Love you, love you, love you. Until next time, sending you nothing but bridal bliss.